Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new episode of Kekkai Sensen and Beyond on episode 3. Now, this episode right here, it does involve a couple characters in this episode. Of course, one of them is Chain and the other one is Steven, along with Zapp, but we cannot also forget that Leonardo was also a part of this. Although Leonardo does have some major bad luck, etc. So, if anything else, let's go. We have to it that it plays up a certain flashback involving Leonardo and his sister, where some guy ends up taking the sight of Leonardo's little sister and who decides to give up her eyesight for his, to save his eyesight. But aside from that, we have to it that he wakes up from that dream whatsoever and ends up being involved with some giant vampire thing. He accidentally bumped into some kind of gangster man and then stole his money and saw Chain to see if he could help him, but she decided not to, apparently. As for Steven, he gets a couple calls about having a party coming over, and he ends up having maybe a maid or someone that he knows cleaning up his house for him. And apparently, as for Zapp, he ends up having to be in the same bed with some woman I think he knows, and apparently he is asked by some girl that he ends up using that bed for, apparently. I think her name is Tracy, from what I heard in this episode, to go find her cat, because that cat is needed right now and apparently threatens to, lump off his manhood if he does not find it. I was, laughing hilariously, thinking in my mind, oh boy, this guy's not gonna have a good day, etc. As for Leonardo, apparently after the aftermath of having his wallet stolen and getting beaten up pretty badly, he ends up having to find a way to try to get his money back. As for Zapp, I think he found the cat, but the cat is actually very evil and almost kills Zapp or throws him off into another dimension or something. Not to another dimension, but to another location. I don't know what happens after that. We see to it that we get to see Steven at his place having a party with a couple guests here and there. And we get to see, and it ends up switching off to Leonardo trying to grab a weapon, trying to get his money back. But apparently, Leonardo found the guy at a certain bar, which I don't know how he did that. He tells the guy, give me back my money or something. He has a stun baton ready to electroshock him. And then the gangster guy ends up tricking Leonardo by telling him, I have a pacemaker connected to my heart. You do that, you're gonna end up killing me. And therefore, he ends up being Leonardo again and ends up zapping him. And therefore, the gangster guy ends up meeting the gangster guy, I call him, that stole Leonardo's wallet, ends up seeing Chain at the same bar that he was drinking at, and she challenges him to a drinking contest. How about it? You and I have a drinking contest, you beat me, you could tend to me, whatever you like. And therefore, he goes I'm in, sure, why not? And after falling into her seduction methods of her sexiness, etc., which is always a man's weakness in a certain way, all the aliens were actually surprised to see the gangster man who stole Leonardo's wallet to go for a drinking contest against Chain. And apparently, the result became really catastrophic for him because he realizes this booze is actually very different from what he could experience. And we have to it that Chain herself could actually take on this booze and could take it on no problem of no tomorrow. Which I go wow, dude, she is one top slick chick. Then it switches off to a scene with Steven again, and he ends up actually defeating these guys, and they end up trying to kill him, and they tell him, you have to come with us or we'll kill you. But Steven already made his attack already. When he was about to start the party, he ends up tripping by accident, and had his blood transferred to everyone else's, and somehow ends up freezing them up, which shows how much of a bad boy he could be. And he ends up having his private squad to take care of him, knowing that his boss would not allow him to take care of him in a formidable way. And of course, he ends up deciding to go off for air. As for the guy who stole Leonardo's wallet, he ends up losing a drinking contest to Chain and ends up having his and Leonardo's wallet stolen from Chain because there was two wallets, one's red and one's blue. I think the blue one belongs to Leonardo. Chain stole both of them, stole Leonardo's wallet back, including the red one from them, and says thanks for thanks for everything, it's been fun, and she ends up dispersing with her invisible air. As for the two guys who mugged Leonardo, they end up have to pay for the drinks, but apparently since they can't pay them with their money, and the guy tries to attack the alien, he has his arm cut off. And therefore the guy says, you know, there's another method for payment. We have to take it out of your body now, don't we? And ends up like having to take a lot of the entirety of the human body in other cases, and they're stuck in a freaking like mug-like thing. But aside from that, we have to it that Zapp asks Leonardo to use his eyes to look for a cat because his manlyhood that he calls his freedom magnum is about to be chopped off in 30 minutes. And Leonardo says, you know, I could help you out though, but I don't even know what cat it is. I'm sorry. And therefore, we had to it that the two guys who mugged Leonardo, like I said, what's left of them right now is their heads, etc. And surprisingly, I'm even surprised that they're still alive. And they end up being attacked by a cat and gets picked up by Steven's maid or friend that cleans the room for him or the apartment. And we get to be introduced to her two children, which is called Gamia and Emilia, apparently. And they end up picking up a cat, which might be the one that they might be looking for. Although they don't know what's going on, Leonardo ends up saying we gotta find a way gonna have to talk to her. But Zapp says she ain't gonna listen to reason. I have to find a cat or my freaking thing's gonna get cut off, which he calls it his freedom magnum. And apparently Leonardo ends up meeting up with Steven again, when he was riding on the motorcycle, etc. And after the credits, I think this is where Chain, I believe, is like puking a lot because of that drinking contest. I'm really surprised to my shock. I don't know if it's either from that drinking contest or the freaking like drinks she had in her house, etc. She ends up puking in the toilet, etc. But like I said, she's just puking in the toilet maybe after that drinking contest, but I don't know. I think that's Chain. Obviously it has to be because who else couldn't recognize her and her sexiness in the way, but either way. So aside from me like confusing you guys, all I can really tell you in simple words of what happened to these characters, Leonardo, he got mugged pretty badly by accidentally bumping into that gangster man, which I call him apparently. Then that gangster man with this little subordinate, etc., who mugged Leonardo, ends up being paid the price of having their entire body removed after they challenged Chain to a drinking contest. They lost their wallets because of her, because she stole them back, and ends up disappearing in the invisible air. And of course, Chain, on the other hand, ends up puking in the toilet because I think she overdid her liquor, etc. And as for Steven, he ends up having a party, but gets almost killed by these alien freaks. But we have to it that Steven took care of him by using his blood powers, etc. from the very beginning before the party even started. As for Zapp, he is looking for a cat in this episode, but couldn't find it. So who knows if he lost his freedom magnum, which is his manhood. I'm pretty sure you all know what I'm talking about if you watched the episode. So like I said, Leonardo got mugged, but the guys who mugged him got karma back, and Steven taking care of some alien thugs who decided to throw a party with him and pretend to have fun, but he knew what they were going to do from the start. And Zapp trying to look for a cat, but couldn't find the cat, so who knows what happened. But I hope they found the cat because Leonardo meets up with Steven that has a cat, but who knows? So that's about it. I'm very sorry for this recap to be a little long, but until then, I'll see you guys in my next video. So I'm Alpha Zero, people. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-toot!